rename.
All right, good evening, everybody. We're going to get started here in just a moment. We're going to just give it another minute to see if anybody else is going to join, and then we'll go ahead and get started. All right. Charla, is there anybody else?
Nope, everybody is in.
Okay. All right, well, you know what? It's 7:02. We're going to get going because I know everybody's time is precious and I don't want to have everybody here late. So we're going to mosey along. All right. I'm Jamie. I am the program chair for the Spring Family Camping that we are going to have the Frontier Adventure coming this April. I have with us on my team is Charity with council, and I have Charla, who is my register. Kelly, she is our safety lead. I have Jen, who is our health officer. Nick is our ranger over at Burt Adams. We have Sean, who is the shooting sports lead for our events. And we have Lindsay Nolan, who is our short-term camping administrator, which is a new position for all of our camping. Richard is here. He is our camp master. And I have Jeremy here as well. And he is our staff cook. So welcome, everybody. So glad you could all make it. I have not seen a couple other of our members like Bob, but we will just get going and we'll see where we end up. We are going to start off with our safety moment, and I'm going to throw that over to Kelly, who is our safety advisor. So.
Great, thank you all so much for joining us today. So just real quick, we are going to just go through these safety tidbits. The first thing that we definitely want to talk about is there's absolutely no flames that are allowed in tents of any kind. If you have a wood burning stove, if you have a propane stove, if you have a candle, none of those things are allowed in the tents at all. If you're using a stove, it should be set up about 3 feet away from your dining fly also. If you have, we're hoping that we'll have good weather, but you never know. So if you do have those infrared heaters that you see a lot of times at the big work sites, those should absolutely never be placed inside the tents either. It's just there, it's a huge safety concern. So make sure that you don't have any of those things that are inside your tent. And also matches, lighters, anything that can actually start a fire should not be in your tent either. They should actually be stored in a separate box or container outside of the tent. And of course, those lovely, what we call smellables that will attract animals. It's a lot. It's any mints, any toothpaste, any food, anything that has a smellable to it should be placed in a bear bag and hung. Basically, you throw it over a tree and hang it away from your campsite. You just don't want to attract those animals into your campsite, or even worse, into your tent. Camp stoves, which a lot of you will be using, they're the ones that typically have 2 or more burners. They'll use propane, butane, white gas. Make sure that when they are set up, they're set up properly according to the manufacturer's instructions. And a great trick to learn if everything is threaded safely is just to take some soapy water, and you can squirt it on there or spray it on there, and if big bubbles come off of that, that means that it's not threaded properly. So you need to turn off the gas immediately, rethread it, and make sure that it's tight. And also when you're using any type of equipment like that, make sure to always follow the manufacturer's instructions when lighting the burners on the stove.
Very good. Thank you so much, Kelly. All right. So now let's talk about when is our camp. So our Frontier Adventure is going to happen at Burt Adams the weekend of April 9th and at Woodruff the weekend of April 23rd. So as you can see here is our patch and our shirts designs, which we are excited about. All right. And so next we come to what is the purpose of our spring family camp that we are having? Well, it's really simple. We are here to have fun with our cubs, strengthen our families through scouting. This adventure is going to be a safe adventure outdoors, and it's going to be a lot of fun for both the cubs and their families. All right, so this brings us to our PPEs, which I'm going to pass that off to Jen, our health officer, and she will go through that for you.
Hey, I'm Jen. Just some of the things to think about when coming to the spring camp out. Number one is that we're going to want you to make sure that you self-screen before you even leave your house. If you've had any contacts or any fevers or anything like that, we would just like for you to stay at home. We will go through those health screening questions again once you come to camp. Make sure you bring your Part A and B health forms. We want to make sure that you stick to your strictly scheduled program activities and you stay with your group. That keeps you with a cohort, and so that you're not mixing and mingling among everyone in case something does happen. Remember, like when you go into public areas like the trading post, we want to keep that to a limited number of people. So if you're asked to wait at the door, just please be patient. Also, we will have hand sanitizer at each program activities. Make sure your kids are hand sanitizing, washing their hands, wearing their mask anytime that they're around people. We also will have staff that's dedicated to keeping the bathhouses clean. But if you see something, please let us know. And like I said, we'll have hand sanitizing stations throughout the camp. So please, that's the biggest, most important thing is clean hands, clean hands, clean hands. Face mask will be required at this camp as they are at all BSA activities right now. So they're required. The CDC is now asking, if possible, to wear 2 masks at one time, preferably a mask that you cannot see through or can't see light through. Those are the safest. We will have the dining hall closed. Camp-wide ceremonies will have 6 feet of spacing in between people. That doesn't mean like if a mom and a dad and 2 children come together from the same household, they can be within 6 feet of each other, but if they don't live in the same household, we need to keep that 6 feet of distance between the people. Also, we're going to keep all of our activities to outdoors. And like I said before, we're going to stay in those small cohort groups so that if there is some kind of issue, that we have a smaller group together.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Jen. Really appreciate that. All right. So now we're going to talk about some additional options, and Jeremy is going to take that over.
Hello, I'm Jeremy. I'm the cook for the event here, so hopefully that goes well. All right, so there's a few other things that you can get while you're here, or at the camp rather. Frontier Adventure t-shirts that you saw a couple of slides back will be available from the Tentaroo website or the trading post while at camp. 19-20 bucks for a shirt. The dining hall is going to be closed all weekend. Campers should plan on cooking their own meals in their campsite. Take a lunch for Saturday. with you to all the programs. No returning to camp. A chuck wagon meal, however, will be available Saturday night for purchase for $10 each. And that'll consist of some wonderful barbecue that I'm going to make, baked beans, macaroni and cheese, dessert, all that good stuff. And a Frontier Adventure box will be available as well for $35. Wood carving kit, fire starter kit, Dreamcatcher craft, Farm craft, lasso knot kit, t-shirt, patch, chuck wagon cookbook, and some odd trinkets. $35 mailed out by the Pony Express that you can have to do with your cubs in the campsite. And that's all.
All right. Thank you, Jeremy.
Well,
All right. So now that brings us over to our Saturday program, the part that everybody wants to know about. Okay. So we've got definitely a variety of options going on or themed programs going on and activities. So you've got things that are going to be barn tosses, saloon shootouts. Let's see, we're going to have horse races. There will be an obstacle course, an outlaw obstacle course. We're even going to do a petting zoo as well. So, of course, keeping that all within the parameters of the COVID, that we have to stay so far apart and all. So we will definitely make sure we keep with those policies. So your small groups will participate in these activities in a rotation schedule. Now, if you were at Spooky Re last fall, then you were introduced to this concept of small groups and going through a rotation in a circular motion. This way, nobody is crossing paths with each other if we can help it. It might happen from time to time, but it's not like everybody is just mad rushing to where they want to go. This is a structured, organized event, and you will have all of that information in advance in your leader's guide. Parents and leaders within the small group will be required to help assist with the game operations. Instructions will be provided. Plus, we will have one staff member at each game giving instructions as well. Just to let you know that you're not alone in this. We are there to help you. And also we are there to help with the sanitation of each game as well. So making sure that it's thoroughly clean before the next group comes. All participants, we were saying, should bring a bagged lunch for Saturday. There is no slotted time for lunch in this set rotation because we had to put in the petting zoo, sorry. And so we've got plenty of time in between the games and the activities. There's always time you can find to sit down and eat a little something. So we just really need you not to wander back to the camp, okay? We just got to keep everybody in that rotation, all right? Okay. So our small groups, for their free time, we ask that you stay at your campsites, okay? So after program's all done, head back to your campsite, enjoy your campfire, things like that. If you have to go to the bathroom, of course, wear a mask, keep your space, buddy system, always, okay? We will have this year, unlike Spooky Re, we will have opening and closing ceremonies at Flagpole. That will be down at the bottom of Love Dining Hall on the Love Field. And we will have it staked out so that each cohort has a stake and you all line up behind it, okay? And they'll be 6 feet apart each stake. So that's to try and get spacing so we can all participate in a camp-wide ceremony instead of just having to do them in your campsite like we did before, okay? Saturday night campfire will be held at the amphitheater. When you go to this, we're just going to ask you to abide by the seatings that we mark out for you all, so that way we can keep you safe. And if everybody just makes sure that they keep their 6-foot distance, wear their masks at all times, and use those hand sanitizer stations and wash their hands as soon as they can at a bathroom, we'll be fine. We've got this. All right, so that will take us now on over to arrival, which is Bob Griffin.
Hello. Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. Friday, 6 p.m. arrival. Front gate is going to remain closed until that time. We just have to make it as orderly as we can. I know everybody gets exhausted on Friday after work and they get the kids in the car. It's a little bit of a drive for everybody to get either to Burt or to Woodruff, but please be patient. We'll have troops helping check people in. So we'll go through that. All participants must complete a health screening at the front gate before entering camp. There is we're going to have a form, a Google form so that we're going to get the pack number, everybody in the car, and then they have to agree that they are COVID free, that they don't have any symptoms. If any one of them does, they have to go. We can't keep them. That's just the way it's going to be. And they sign this, they fill it in on an iPad and then move the car. They have to go directly to their campsite. Small group campsite assignments and parking passes will be emailed the week before the event, so they should know where they're going, but we'll remind them. We'll have that with us on the iPads, or we may just print it out and just have it easier to find. Unit leaders can hand a hard copy of the roster for their group to the camp master Friday night during setup. We're going to do the check-in the way I just described to make sure that we get every pack and every person. We can count heads in a car and we can make sure that everybody's listed on that. It'll just be easier that way. We can have a hard copy, but it's just a simpler way to do it. Remain in your campsite on Friday. Do not wander around the camp. That is very important. We want to make sure everybody stays safe. Parking, you'll receive the parking pass at check-in. Must be displayed on your vehicle's dashboard. If we don't see that, it's got to be there. If you come through the gate, you're going to have one. We'll just go ahead and push it onto your dashboard. So just leave it there. Vehicles must be parked in designated areas. No vehicles should be parked at campsites. That is critical in case there's any issues where we need to get emergency vehicles in. We can't have any cars, trucks, or trailers sitting there. So you've got to get them out of the campsite. This is short-term camping. You should need a trailer. You should be able to bring everything in, unload it, and park your cars. Medical, is this one mine? I don't think I have medical forms. Yay, I'm done.
All right, thank you, Bob. All right, now we move on to Jen, our health officer.
Yeah, so as with every scouting event, we do have to have Part A and Part B medical forms. If you do come with your pack, you just need to have one responsible adult that keeps all of those for all of the people that is at camp with you. If you are coming as just a family unit, then those medical forms need to be turned in at check-in. They will then turn them into me and they will be held at the health office until camp is over. If at any time at the end of camp, once everybody is gone, those are still there, they will be shredded in a medical facility. So if you want those returned, please come to the health office and pick those up.
Excellent. So now let's go to Saturday arrivals and talk to Bob again.
I only thought I was done. Okay. Keep all cars on the paved roads. Please obey the speed limits. That's going to be very important. We're going to have a lot of little ones around. They love to run everywhere. They don't have boundaries, so that's it. Saturday arrivals must check in at the camp office. We'll have someone there. The form will be there so that they can just fill it in and go. They need to leave their car and their gear in a parking spot, of course, and after 5 p.m. they can go to their campsite and unload it. So check in, everybody gets in, you'll know where to go to catch up with your pack, and you'll be on your rotation and go have fun. You'll unload later, so that'll be fine. Upon arrival, a council representative in the camp office will locate your cohort. Oh, I just talked about that. Don't wander around camp. Go directly to where you're supposed to go. There you go.
Thank you, Bob. All right. So now we are talking about the range, which is another absolutely fun activity that all the Cubs get to do. And Sean, who is our shooting sports lead, will go ahead and discuss.
Good evening, everybody. Yeah, we're super excited about being able to have range stuff. We are still working on some logistics as far as times, but that will definitely be sent out at the very least on Friday when you check in. We'll have a whole roster of, it'll be part of your rotation. But we are planning to have BB guns, rubber band guns for the Lions, archery, slingshots. All the range times will be built into each small group's rotation, which I already talked about. All the participants must complete a range safety briefing prior to shooting. So that'll be done at the range. It'll be done usually by me or one of the other range masters. We'll make sure that everybody's safe. That is our main goal. We'll be cleaning all of the BB guns, the archery equipment in between and whenever needed. So, we'll make sure we're taking care there to keep in mind with the COVID restrictions and all that kind of stuff. Main goal is that the kids are safe and that they have a good time. The group will have to stick to the time that they're scheduled. No changing of your time on the ranges. That's important because we're running a rotation and we need to make sure that everybody gets through and gets to shoot. That's always especially the Cub Scouts, that's their favorite thing. This is something that they're not able to do within the pack level. So they have to, lean on us to get this done. So that's all I got.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, Sean. All right, youth protection, one of our most important things. I'm going to pass this over to Charity. If you will discuss, please.
Howdy, y'all. Wanted just to remind you, you guys should all know this. If you haven't taken youth protection, I encourage you highly to go ahead and take this training. There's lots of good information in the training for you. But just remember, there's no one-on-one contact. And families, since this is a family event, sometimes people don't know your family. And when you're going around with just your child or a few children, they don't know if it's your child or if you have multiple. So just keep that in mind and make sure that there is too deep leadership when you're with your kids at all times. And buddy system, make sure the kids have two people going to the bathrooms if they have to use the restroom or going around camp. We don't want to have any child lost or misplaced. So as long as they have a buddy, that will prevent that from happening. Respect each other's privacy. All the bathrooms are marked clearly if they are not a single family unit. So if it says it's a boys' bathroom, girls, please don't go in there, and boys don't go into the girls' bathroom. Let's remain those privacies. Separate accommodations need to be kept separate. Families can be in a tent together, but you can't commingle families together. So make sure that each family has their own tent and separate accommodations.
Very good. All right, and if you would please, and discuss more detail about the restrooms, Charity.
Yep. So at Burt Adams, most of the bathrooms, like I said, are single stall bathrooms. So they can be used by any gender or age because they are individual bathrooms. At Woodruff, the majority of them are as well. If there are group showers, they will be clearly marked on whether they are for youth or adults and male and female. So make sure you're looking at the signs and using the facilities properly. We will have extra staff that will be cleaning the bathrooms frequently to help with the COVID and hopefully nobody getting sick with that. And then if you guys could just help with keeping the bathrooms clean by not leaving trash on the floor, and at the end of the camp, helping to clean up, that would be helpful as well. For emergency procedures, if your child gets misplaced, and this has happened in the past, I will recommend check your tent first. There has been known times where the kids get tired and they go back to their tent and go to sleep. So check your tent, check the places where the kids like to go, and like the at the Gaga pit or other areas that are attracted to the kids, check those areas. But if you cannot find them, then you can find any of the staff around camp, and we will have radios, and we will help you locate your child. But we don't anticipate that being a problem. April is a time where there may be severe weather. We will have a weather plan in place, and you will have a copy of the emergency plans and where those hard shelters are located. So find that when you come to camp so that you know exactly where your safe locations are. So yep, there'll be a single blast if there is, when everything's clear, and high-low warbling if there is severe weather.
Very good. Thank you. All right. Now, Charlotte will talk to us in regards to how you can communicate at camp.
Hey, y'all. What you guys want to do before you get off this call, text the @ AAC Frontier to the number 81010. That's going to sign you up for Remind messages, or you can join the Remind group through the Remind app, I believe, or just simply send a text message. But what you're going to get throughout the weekend and prior to the event is important information from camp staff regarding reminders and any changes that are going to happen due to weather. But your primary means of communication with camp staff is really going to go through your small group guide. And so you're essentially going to have a small group guide that is going to act as your liaison between camp staff and, well, you. And so if you have a problem that requires camp staff, you should always start with your small group guide. They will contact us. That's really just to prevent people from saying, oh, I have a question, I'm going to run to the camp office. We want to keep everyone in their small groups. And so really try to go through your small group guide with any problems or any issues. But for important information, disseminate that text message number to your families that you've registered for, so everybody's in the loop. And we also encourage you all to post your pictures on social media using the tags below for Burt Adams and Woodruff, as well as Spring Family Camp.
All right. Thank you, Charlotte. Excellent job. All right. So let's take it back over to Charity to discuss weather.
All right. So in April, as you can see now in February, you can have some cold weather. So be prepared for possibilities of cold. This is a rain or shine event, so make sure you bring rain gear with you and extra layers. Socks, dry socks are going to be your best friend. If your kids' feet get wet, or if your feet get wet, you're going to want to have dry socks before you go to bed, and that will help you be more comfortable. So make sure that you plan for the weather, look ahead to see what the forecast is, and make sure you have enough layers so that you're comfortable throughout the day.
And definitely closed-toe shoes are required at both camps. Very good. Yes. Thank you. All right, Charity. I know pets are a big thing. So, if you'll go ahead and discuss, I know, no horses, coming, no support horses for this event. So, but go
yes.
ahead.
So yeah, no pets are allowed. And if you do require a support animal, you just need to let us know and we will pass it by on the ranger. And I think Nick is on. So Nick, you can speak to that better than I can. Nick, you want to say a couple things about that?
Problem. Yeah, so we typically have no pets at any of our camps. If you have a certified support animal, service animal, that's a different thing. We'll work with you on how to facilitate that need. But even if you've got families coming out for just the day, no pets. We just run into some issues with that, so it's just easier to say keep them at home. That's perfect, and they will be there when you get home. Awesome.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Charity. Appreciate that. All right. So smoking, it is allowed at both of the camps. There are designated areas that you can go smoke if you need to. I know at Bird Adams, it's behind the dining hall. So please make sure that, you only smoke in those areas. Let the family members that are in your groups know that that's the only area. We ask that you don't smoke in front of your kids and the other scouts, and that you refrain from using vapor, cigarettes, cigars, or chewing tobacco. That is something that we just ask you to refrain from. So, all right, so that takes us on over to miscellaneous camp rules, and we will welcome back Sean.
Sorry, I don't know how to work a computer.
It's okay.
So it is strictly forbidden of throwing rocks. There's no running at all in camp. That's a tough one because kids always want to run. So us as parents and adults, leaders need to make sure that we're keeping the kids from running. We don't want to send them to the nurse when we don't need to. No flames, no fires, no fuels of any kind are permitted inside the tents. We already discussed that one. No personal firearms and or bows are permitted. Just keep them at home. Don't even bring them in your car. Leave the temptation alone. No alcoholic beverages or illegal substances allowed. That's a big one. Parents are tempted to sneak stuff away. Don't bring it. No fireworks of any kind are permitted on camp property. Bikes are permitted at Burt Adams only, but only allowed to travel to the scheduled activities. No wandering around camp. I don't let my kids bring them because the temptation is too much for at night. They want to run the bikes. So my personal kids don't bring them. That's just my rule for my kids, unless I'm there with them. But that's neither here nor there. You guys can handle it from there. Lights out at 10:30 p.m. on the nose.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sean. All right. So yes, this is the not the final frontier, but this is the frontier adventure. So this is going to be all about the ranch, the farm, the Southwest, the cowboys, the cowgirls, ranchers, all of that. So we will be giving away an award for the best costume. And then we'll also give a award for the best decorated campsite. So definitely bring your bandanas, put on your hats, get your boots, throw on a shirt, go for it. We want to see it all. Decorate up the place, get ready for a hoedown. All right. All right, so that brings us to our Sunday checkout. And Bob, if you would please come back on.
Yes.
Hi, Bob.
Hi. Okay, so no mad rush to get out. Units need to leave their campsites better than they found them. We will check, okay? Whatever bathhouse you use, please clean it. Trash must be packed in and packed out. There is limited dumpster space. We don't want to cause a big pile of stuff where we end up with critters in there. So please pack it in, pack it back out. No one leaves until the small group guide gives their okay after campsite is checked by the logistics team. So like I said, we're going to check. Please take care of your campsite.
All right. Thank you, Bob. Okay, so that brings us to the end of our presentation. Thank you so much for listening. And we are happy to answer any questions that you might have. So this is your time. Go ahead and use those hands up reactions on your screen, or put it into the chat if the chat function is open. You can put it into the chat and we will happily answer any of your questions. So I'm going to let Charla take the lead on any chat questions, and we'll be happy to answer them. Anybody with questions?
Is Jeremy cooking for staff?
Yes.
See, that's why I'm coming. All right.
Well, and he's also doing the catered meal Saturday night. So all of you participants are going to get a real treat.
Oh,
it's for sure.
He's amazing. Is he still
Aw.
sitting beside you? Is he?
No, he stepped away.
Oh, all right. He's amazing. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Bob. All right. Anybody else? Anybody's got any questions? Amy, Jennifer, Ryan, anybody? I guess this was very straightforward and I guess helpful if nobody has any questions. So I will then let you all go, and please remember that anytime you do have questions, you can reach us. Go to the website for Spring Family Camping and you'll see contact information there. We are happy to answer any questions you have at any time. Make sure that you get signed up as soon as you can for either camp or heck, both camps. Why not?
Oh, we have a raised hand.
I see a raised
Jared.
hand.
Yep.
All right, go ahead with your question. Where are we?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. The chat was disabled, but I just wanted to make sure I was clear about the mask policy. It's everywhere except for within your tent.
So
Yeah.
yes, while you are on camp, unless you're eating or drinking, you should have your mask on over your nose, worn properly.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Any other questions that anybody has?
I'm a little jealous I didn't have theme music going.
Oh, I know.
That was awesome.
That was so cool. So, all right. Well, then, if there is no others, like I said, check out the website. There is documentation on there for you to look at. There is flyers. Share it with your other pack members. Share it with other packs. Get registered as soon as you can, and let them know if they are not interested in actually attending camp. They can have a camping experience through our Frontier Adventure Box. Which you can get that ordered through Tentaroo. So, well, thank you so much, everybody, for coming to our little Frontier group here and enjoying a little conversation time about our exciting, oh, I'm so excited, Cowboy Cowgirl Fiesta thing that we're doing here. So get your hats on and ride away into the sunset. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Have a good night.